this is what I work so hard for, just to see all of you here, coming out, being compassionate toward animals. That's really what it's all about. When you are a vegan because of health reasons, well, you can always go off that diet. You can go on the diet or off the diet. But if you're a vegan because of animals, once you're on this diet, quote unquote diet, it's a lifestyle really, then you can't go back. You can't go back. Once you're veg, you can't go back. This doesn't rhyme, unfortunately. Okay, so it's just wonderful to see so much compassion all in one place, people who care, people who come out and support this great event. I got interviewed a couple of times before this date, and vegnews.com, I'm not sure if they're associated with the actual printed magazine, but the gentleman said that he was from vegnews.com and he wanted to do a story, and his question actually was pretty good, even though he sounded like he didn't really know much about the vegan world or anything. But he asked me, what are the 5 top reasons to attend this event? And the top one, number 1, I said visibility and viability. And I think I've kind of hinted at this in the past, that this is an outdoor event. A lot of people complain about the weather, but if you want to go indoors, then unfortunately nobody's going to see you. So we really should try and engage the meat eaters who are coming into this park right now if we can, and somehow inspire them to join us and to get involved and to adopt this wonderful diet that it's a wonderful life when you're a vegan. So visibility and viability, I would say. Viability, I always say viable, because when we put all these people together and people walk by and they've got all these very bad misconceptions about the vegan diet. We know about those. I don't have to go through that. There's so much misinformation about our diet. But when people come by and they see us, they got the sign, they got all these people, and it maybe makes them sit up and take notice. So that is what it's all about. That's why we have to come out here in big numbers, because we have to show how important this is to us. In fact, over there on the other side is another PA system, and you can tell your story, why you became a vegan, and we put it on YouTube, and you can speak from the gut, you can speak from your heart, why this diet is so important. And I know that within the group here, there's a lot of passion and compassion, but passion about this way of living and eating. So we are displaying a whole culture, and that is also something that will make a meat eater sit up and take notice. Say, I've known one vegan my entire life, but wow, what's this? When did this happen? So that's why we have to come here in force, in big numbers, and with lots of enthusiasm, and coming from many, many points of view and all angles. Of course, another reason to attend is just that it's plain exhilarating. I mean, Vance, this was your first parade. Can I assume that you were utterly exhilarated? He's jumping up and down in affirmation. The parade is absolutely exhilarating, and the spirit that is here is exhilarating. And when the 364 days of the year, we have to live, side by side with meat eaters, and it can be very, very demoralizing. Can be, unless we have very, very strong constitutions. Anyway, It's just wonderful to be side by side, shoulder to shoulder with other people who are compassionate, and you feel like you're in a family instantaneously. So, of course, another reason to attend is that we had 20 speakers. We have 20 speakers at least, 40 exhibitors at least. We've got the soapbox testimonial station, and absolutely everybody should go out over there and tell their heartfelt story from their gut, why they became a vegan, why it's so important to you. We put it up on YouTube, and those words can be extremely inspiring to anybody who is contemplating adopting this diet. So, of course, we had the costume contest, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. We already know that. We just saw it. So I want to the second part of my little talk here is that I want to remind everybody that I'm sort of hinting at this already, that everything you do is political, whether you like it or not. You know, I say I never talk about politics or religion, but you just standing there, you're making a political statement. And so we have to understand how important it is to become a constituency, to have a point of view and to advocate for our point of view and for whom we are, and make up and impress upon our elected officials, those corrupt assholes. Excuse me. No, I didn't say that. Okay. Our demographic, if I may characterize us, I've seen us guys for a long time. I've been in the vegan advocacy movement for 25 years, and I've really noticed that the vegan demographic is very peace-loving. You know, God bless. We're peace-loving people, and that's a good thing. But unfortunately, we have to become fighters. We have to become fighters. Our opposition is extremely powerful and ruthless. I mean, if you can find 3 million chickens in one building the size of an airplane hangar or bigger, you can't be very compassionate. So we need to be fighters, and unfortunately, we as vegans are outside, kind of over here in left field. We are like a non-entity. Nobody hears us, nobody sees us, nobody listens to us, nobody knows we're here. Why is that? Anyway, that needs to change. The reason why our issues are not, I've said this last year, and it's an important point to reiterate. There's no disagreement between Republicans and Democrats regarding our issues. So that's why you never hear about it in the newspaper unless you're reading Van Slemkuhl's column in the Philly.com and his places. You don't hear about our issues, and if you do a search on the word vegan or vegetarian on the news portion of Google, there'll be a lot of things about how much protein is in beans or something. They don't talk about the things that I talk about in my 101 Reasons, which is that this industry is filthy, it's cruel, it's unhealthy. I'm not going to go on. You're going to read it. Okay. So if you have the stomach for it, we have to get into the muck of politics. And let me very quickly end up with 3 more quick points. I want to impress on people to consider very much to become a volunteer, to get involved with this issue. I will tell you from a practical standpoint, I learned so many skills that I later took into the marketplace and made money as a high-paid employee by learning things I needed to learn to better advocate for this cause. I learned computers, I learned database, I learned, page makeup, and I learned all kinds of and I learned negotiation. I learned all kinds of things. If you want to better yourself, become a volunteer. And, okay, so my last point is that I have studied the meat industry. I have looked at their literature. And I learned this from Karen, my mentor, Karen Davis, that you need to read the literature from the meat industry itself. Because they're very frank and very honest, because they don't think that they need to hide what they do. They don't think that anybody's going to object, because a lot of people don't want to look over there. They don't want to see the truth, It's cognitive dissonance. We've heard of that, right? Okay. So I will say that the meat industry is a microcosm of the general political, of politics and government. In that, a huge aspect of the USDA is portioning out, I'm almost done, portioning out subsidies to the meat industry. I do a whole talk on this. I'm just going to say 2 points. One, corn is subsidized in America. It goes back to Earl Butz, who was like the USDA secretary back in the 70s or something. And the U.S. government, so they say, I don't know if we can believe them or not, was afraid of famine in America, was actually seriously afraid of famine. So they said, okay, we got to really be careful about famine. Let's make sure that we have plenty of corn. So it was, I don't know if this story is true, but this is what they say. Fake news. Okay. So what's happened is that $20 billion of your tax dollars goes to corn and other grain subsidies. I don't know if people know that. That's right out of your tax dollars. So you say, well, what's wrong with corn? That's a vegetarian item. Well, no, that's not this time. It's not cornflakes. It's not cornbread that humans eat. It's feed. And feed goes to animals, and then we eat the animals. And because we have literally mountains of corn and feed, see this great movie, it's called King Corn. Write it down. You can download it or whatever. It's all over the place. It tells you the story of corn. And we have so much corn, so it's cheap to make meat. And meat becomes inexpensive. And this is an issue that we vegans need to be right on top of. The other thing, let me see, there are the other subsidy that is, and I'm going to finish up. The other subsidy is that the USDA, if you can even believe it, will actually purchase chicken and pork and all these animal foods and milk, obviously, and then they give them to schools at very low prices. And they do it, they say, because they want to shore up prices. Now, I thought that we should let the markets work, right? But they don't. So I think that, again, these are microcosms of the rest of the government. And that's about it, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out. And get a copy of the 101 Reasons. God bless you all. Thank you so much for coming. You're just so beautiful to my eyes. I can't even tell you. This is why I work for so hard all year, or it's about 2 months of my life, every year.